This one scent can change how you feel. Here's the wild science behind it. Hey there. Welcome back to Fact Quest, Global Trivia, where science isn't just something you memorize for a test. It's a story. It's part of you. It explains the memories that haunt us, the emotions that comfort us, and even the smells that bring us back to places we thought we forgot. Today, I want to talk about something strange. And honestly, it's kind of beautiful. What if I told you that a single smell could completely change how you feel about something else without you even realizing it? Like, imagine you taste something sweet, your favorite dessert, and suddenly it feels wrong. It feels off. And it's not the food that changed. It's the scent you smelled with it. That just happened in a lab. And no, not in a sci-fi movie, in a real experiment with real scientists. And the story that came out of it is something we all can relate to. So here's what happened. Researchers at a neuroscience center in Spain, the Hospital Del Mar Medical Research Institute, worked with mice to understand how our brains connect different senses and emotions. Specifically, how smells and feelings get tangled together. And they started small. They gave mice two smells, banana and almond. And they paired each one with a different flavor. So banana might come with a sweet liquid, almond with a salty one. Over time, the mice learned that bananas are sweet and the almonds are salty. So far, so simple. But then they added a twist. They made the banana smell mean something bad. Nothing horrible. Just enough discomfort to be unpleasant, like a little shock. Suddenly, the smell of bananas wasn't just sweet anymore. It carried danger. And here's where it gets fascinating. Once the banana smell was paired with fear, the mice started avoiding sweet things. Not because the sweetness changed, but because their brain now associates the sweet taste with the banana smell, and the banana smell with something painful. They created a whole emotional chain reaction. One thing reminded them of another, which reminded them of another, which made them feel afraid. Does that sound familiar? Because if you've ever had a panic attack in a place that shouldn't be scary, or felt sick at the smell of a perfume your ex used to wear, or cried during a song you haven't heard since childhood, this is exactly what your brain is doing. It's connecting the dots behind the scenes. And those dots? They can change how we feel, how we react, even how we move through the world. Now, here's the really cool part. In this experiment, scientists were able to track the exact brain pathway that was making this happen. It starts in a part of the brain called the amygdala. You've probably heard of it. It's the emotional core, the part of your brain that lights up when you're scared, when you feel threatened, or when you remember something that once hurt you. The amygdala sends signals to the cortex, the outer layer of the brain that handles perception, memory, decisions. It's where your brain says, "Hey, this smells like banana." That used to mean sweet, but now I don't trust it. When scientists turned off this connection in the mice, literally blocked the amygdala from talking to the cortex, the whole fear-linking thing stopped. The mice just reacted to sweet food like normal. No more fear. No more associations. Just think about that. There's a literal switch in the brain that decides whether a smell makes you feel safe or unsafe, loved or panicked. And it can be turned off. Now, before we go down the rabbit hole of brain science and wires and all that, let's bring this back to us. Because this experiment with mice, it mirrors how our minds work more than you might expect. Let's say someone went through trauma, a war vet, a survivor of abuse, someone who lived through something terrifying. Their brain may have linked a completely harmless smell to a moment of danger. Smoke, cologne, leather, a shampoo scent. And years later, that same scent comes back. And so does the panic. Not because they wanted to, not because they remember what happened, but because the emotional circuit got wired that way. And the beautiful, hopeful thing about this research is that we're learning how to gently disconnect those wires. Not erase memories, not erase the past, but make it possible for people to experience the present without old pain hijacking it. Because the truth is, healing isn't always about logic. Sometimes it's about smell, about sound, about unspoken things your body remembers, even when your mind doesn't. And this experiment gives us real scientific proof that these associations are real, that they're built into us, and that they can be reprogrammed. Here's something else you might not know. Out of all the senses we have, sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell is the one most tightly connected to emotion and memory. There's a reason why the smell of your childhood home, or your grandmother's soup, or the beach at sunset hits you so hard. It skips the logical part of your brain and goes straight to the emotional core. One sniff, and you're there again. And while that can be beautiful, it can also be haunting. The same brain that remembers love can also remember pain. But again, this is where science gives us a kind of hope. Because now we know where those emotional scent memories live in the brain. And we're learning how to work with them through therapy, through sensory exposure, even through future tech like brain stimulation. And I want you to sit with this. If something as small as a scent can change your entire reaction to something, that means you are not broken. Your triggers aren't random. Your fears didn't come out of nowhere. And most importantly, they're not permanent. Your brain has pathways. And like any path, they can be changed. Not overnight, not by force, but with patience, support, and science. So next time you feel an emotion come out of nowhere, anxiety, sadness, a wave of nostalgia from a smell or a taste, don't brush it off. That's your brain talking. That's a memory waking up. That's part of your story. And maybe, just maybe, it's something you're ready to rewrite. Massive credit to ScienceDaily for sharing this research. The original article is titled, How the Brain Associates Smells with Emotions, and it's from July 2025. If you want the full details, it's in the description. If you felt something during this story, a memory, a connection, even just curiosity, I'd love for you to like this video, follow this page, and subscribe to FactQuest Global Trivia. Because here, we don't just throw out facts and leave you with more questions. We tell the stories behind the science, the ones that hit home, the ones that make you wonder, and the ones that remind you. You are more connected to this universe than you realize. So stay curious, stay kind to yourself, and the next time you smell something that moves you, take a deep breath. Your brain might be telling you something important. See you next time on FactQuest Global Trivia, where we don't just explain science. We feel it.